Think you know everything about dinosaurs? Think again. The world they inhabited millions of years ago was a place of staggering scale and bewildering diversity. We often picture them as monstrous, scaly beasts locked in a perpetual, brutal struggle for survival. And while that is part of their story, it is far from the whole picture. The truth, as is so often the case in the natural world, is infinitely more complex, more surprising, and more beautiful than we could possibly imagine. These were not simply monsters. They were living, breathing animals that dominated our planet for an almost incomprehensible length of time. Prepare to have your perception of these magnificent creatures utterly transformed. We are about to journey back through the mists of deep time to uncover secrets that have been locked away in stone for eons. The fossils they left behind are like pages in an ancient book, and today we will read some of their most astonishing chapters. From their appearance to their behavior and their incredible reign over every corner of the globe, the story of the dinosaurs is filled with revelations that challenge our oldest assumptions. So settle in as we peel back the layers of history and myth. I invite you to join me on this expedition into a lost world, where we will reveal 10 facts about dinosaurs that are so extraordinary, you might just find them hard to believe. The evidence is waiting, and the discoveries will undoubtedly astound you. Stick around because the world of the dinosaurs is calling. Our journey begins with a revelation that has fundamentally reshaped our understanding of these ancient animals. For generations, we have depicted dinosaurs as being covered in tough, leathery, reptilian scales. But the fossil record, in its infinite generosity, has gifted us with evidence of something far more delicate and far more familiar. Feathers. Yes, many dinosaurs, particularly the two-legged carnivores known as theropods, were adorned with plumage. These were not necessarily the complex flight feathers of a modern eagle, but ranged from simple hair-like filaments to more elaborate branching structures. Imagine, if you will, a velociraptor not as a scaly hunter, but as a creature cloaked in a coat of feathers, perhaps used for insulation in cooler climates, or for vibrant, colorful displays to attract a mate or intimidate a rival. This discovery doesn't just change their appearance, it changes our entire perception of their biology and behavior. It connects them more deeply to the world we know today, painting a picture of animals that were dynamic, complex, and in many ways, astonishingly bird-like, long before the first true bird took to the skies. Every great dynasty needs a name, and the one given to these creatures is as powerful as they were. The word dinosaur has become synonymous with all things ancient and colossal. But where did this formidable term originate? We must travel back to the 1840s, to a time when these fossilized bones were a source of great mystery and debate. It was the British scientist Sir Richard Owen, a brilliant but often controversial figure in the world of anatomy, who first recognized that these disparate fossils belonged to a unique and previously unknown group of reptiles. He needed a name that would capture their awe-inspiring nature. Combining two Greek words, deinos, meaning terrible or fearfully great, and sauros, meaning lizard, he coined the term dinosauria, terrible lizard. It was a name that perfectly encapsulated the sense of wonder and intimidation these enormous skeletons evoked in the scientific community and the public alike. It was a name destined to echo through the ages, a powerful label for the most successful group of vertebrates ever to walk the earth. The sheer size of the largest dinosaurs defies easy comprehension. We often look to the blue whale, the largest animal alive today, as the ultimate benchmark for biological gigantism. It is a creature of immense proportions, a true giant of the deep. And yet, some dinosaurs, the long-necked sauropods, challenged even this colossal scale. Consider Argentinosaurus, a titan that roamed the plains of what is now South America. Fossil evidence suggests this magnificent creature could have reached lengths of over 100 feet. To put that into perspective, it was longer than a basketball court and potentially heavier than a whole herd of African elephants. While the blue whale may still hold the title of the heaviest animal of all time, Argentinosaurus and its kin were unquestionably the longest and tallest terrestrial animals the world has ever seen. Their immense vertebrae, each one larger than a human, speak of a biological architecture pushed to its absolute limits, a living mountain of flesh and bone, moving serenely across a prehistoric landscape. While titans like Argentinosaurus capture our imagination, their immense size tells only part of the story. The 165 million year reign of the dinosaurs was characterized by incredible diversity, and this was true not just of their form, but also of their scale. For every giant that shook the earth, there were countless smaller species, some of which would barely have come up to our knees. They scurried through the undergrowth, hunted insects, and navigated a world dominated by giants. One such example is Compsognathus, a small theropod from the late Jurassic period. This creature was no bigger than a modern-day chicken. It was a nimble, lightweight predator darting through the fern-choked forests of ancient Europe. The existence of such diminutive dinosaurs highlights the incredible adaptability of the group. They filled nearly every conceivable terrestrial niche, from colossal apex predators and titanic herbivores down to these small, swift hunters, each one a masterpiece of evolution, perfectly suited to its own unique way of life. The success of the dinosaurs can be measured not just by their long reign, but also by their extraordinary geographical reach. During the Mesozoic era, the continents were not arranged as they are today. They were slowly drifting apart from the supercontinent of Pangaea. This geological dance allowed the dinosaurs to achieve a truly global distribution. Their fossils have been discovered on every single continent on Earth, a testament to their remarkable adaptability and resilience. From the scorching deserts of ancient Africa to the lush floodplains of North America and the vast expanses of Asia, dinosaurs thrived. Perhaps most astonishingly, their remains have even been unearthed in the frigid, unforgiving landscapes of Antarctica. Of course, Antarctica was not always the ice-covered wasteland it is today. During the age of dinosaurs, it was situated further north and supported vast, temperate forests. Here, unique species of dinosaurs lived out their lives, adapted to a world of seasonal light and darkness, proving that almost no corner of the planet was beyond their reach. When the asteroid struck 66 million years ago, it brought the age of the non-avian dinosaurs to a catastrophic end. But it was not a complete extinction. One remarkable lineage not only survived the apocalypse, but went on to flourish, diversifying into thousands of species that populate our world today. When you look out of your window at a sparrow on a branch, or a pigeon in the city square, you are, in a very real sense, looking at a modern dinosaur. Birds are their closest living relatives. This is no longer a matter of speculation. The evidence is overwhelming, from feathered fossils that blur the line between bird and dinosaur, to similarities in their bone structure, such as hollow bones and a wishbone or furcula. Even their nesting behaviors and the way they cared for their young show profound connections. The great Tyrannosaurus rex shares more of its genetic history with a humble chicken than it does with a stegosaurus. So the next time you hear birdsong at dawn, remember it is a sound with an ancient echo, a living link to the lost world of the dinosaurs. The prehistoric world was basically a theater of pursuit and evasion. For many dinosaurs, speed was like totally the key to survival, whether they were hunting down prey or, escaping the jaws of a predator. While the giant sauropods were slow, lumbering walkers, a bunch of the bipedal dinosaurs were built for these incredible bursts of speed. Computer models, based on their skeletal structure, muscle attachment points, and, oh yeah, those trackways left fossilized in ancient mud, have actually allowed scientists to estimate just how fast these creatures could move. Some of the ornithomimids, or ostrich mimics, were the true sprinters of the dinosaur world. With their long legs, lightweight bodies, and powerful muscles, they could have reached speeds of up to 40 miles per hour, or maybe even faster. That would make them as swift as a modern racehorse, totally capable of outrunning almost any predator of their time. Even the mighty T-Rex, which was once thought to be a slow-moving scavenger, was probably capable of some pretty impressive bursts of speed, a terrifying prospect for any unfortunate herbivore in its path. You know, it's actually a pretty common misconception to think of dinosaurs as these solitary, simple-minded creatures. But honestly, the fossil record tells us a much more complex and fascinating story about their social lives. Many dinosaur species were, in fact, really gregarious. They lived together in herds, kind of like the mammals on the African savanna today. Vast bone beds, which contain the remains of hundreds of individuals from the same species, suggest that these herds traveled, fed, and maybe even migrated together, which would have offered them protection in numbers against those huge predators. But how did they actually communicate with each other? Well, without spoken language, they would have relied on a rich vocabulary of visual and auditory signals. The strange crests, frills, and horns that you see on the heads of many dinosaurs, like the amazing crest of a Parasaurolophus, weren't just for defense. These features might have been brightly colored and used for display, signaling things like identity, health, or even dominance. Some of those crests were hollow and connected to the nasal passages, which suggests they could have produced these deep, resonant calls that echoed across the prehistoric landscape, a way for members of a herd to stay in contact, even at a distance. So, our knowledge of dinosaurs is really the result of centuries of painstaking work, a story of discovery that actually began long before anyone ever said the word dinosaur. The very first dinosaur fossil to be scientifically described was that of Megalosaurus, or the Great Lizard. Its bones were discovered in Oxfordshire, England, way back in the late 17th century, but at that time, people thought they belonged to a giant human. It wasn't until the 1820s that William Buckland, who was a pioneering geologist and paleontologist, correctly identified them as the remains of a colossal, extinct reptile. This discovery, along with the finds of Iguanodon and Hiliosaurus, totally ignited a revolution in our understanding of Earth's history. It was the dawn of paleontology, a brand new science dedicated to uncovering the secrets of ancient life. Every fossil that's been unearthed since then, from a single tooth to a complete skeleton, is like a piece of this magnificent puzzle. It's really a testament to human curiosity and our deep desire to connect with the distant past and understand the incredible story of life on our planet, a story that we're still piecing together, one discovery at a time. The Mesozoic era is, for sure, called the Age of Dinosaurs, but it's super important to remember that they didn't rule the planet alone. The prehistoric world was absolutely packed with other amazing reptiles, and honestly, a lot of them are often mistaken for dinosaurs. Up in the skies, pterosaurs, like the gigantic Quetzalcoatlus, with its wingspan the size of a fighter jet, soared above the land. These weren't flying dinosaurs, though. They were a totally separate group of flying reptiles, and actually the first vertebrates ever to achieve powered flight. Then, in the oceans, you had their own kind of marine giants, ichthyosaurs, which kind of looked like modern dolphins, and the long-necked plesiosaurs patrolled the depths. But again, these weren't dinosaurs either. The real key difference is in the hips. Dinosaurs had a unique hip structure that placed their legs directly beneath their bodies, which let them stand upright. Most other reptiles, both back then and now, have a sprawling posture with their legs sticking out to the side. So, while the world was filled with incredible reptiles, only those with this specific evolutionary innovation can truly be called dinosaurs. And so, our journey through the lost world of the dinosaurs comes to an end. We've seen that they were so much more than just the scaly monsters from our childhood nightmares. They were a diverse and spectacular group of animals, feathered, fast, and found all across the globe. From the chicken-sized Compsognathus darting through the undergrowth to the massive Argentinosaurus that made the ground shake, their story is really one of unparalleled success and amazing adaptation. They're just such a powerful reminder of the endless creativity of evolution. The legacy of dinosaurs is honestly all around us. It's written in the stones of our planet, in the fossils that keep fueling our curiosity, and it even lives on in the chirping of every bird in our gardens. These discoveries have totally transformed our view of the past, revealing a world that's way more complex and wondrous than we ever imagined. But the story isn't over yet. With every new fossil that's unearthed, another page of their history gets turned, and another secret comes to light, promising even more incredible revelations in the years ahead. The Earth keeps its history close, but for those who look, it offers glimpses into worlds beyond our own. The dinosaurs might be gone, but they'll never be forgotten. Their majesty continues to inspire awe and wonder in all of us. So which fact surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing discoveries.